Welcome back to My Perspective. I'm your host, Shelby Wright. I am so excited you're here today. Some of just the strategies I have to make the entire experience a little bit better. I've done a lot of solo trips as well, but I want to make that an entire different episode. So I'm not going to be talking about solo traveling. I'm just going to be talking about travel in general. So I am going to Florida on Wednesday. And this is what sparked my interest for this episode. I'm so excited to be going. I'm turning 21 and I'm also visiting Max. It's just going to be so exciting because the whole week I know I'm going to feel extremely special. I've never really done a birthday trip because it always falls along school time. I'm missing like a week of school. And right when I come back, we're also still celebrating my birthday. So I'm kind of just excited to have a little celebrations for myself and surround myself with all my favorite people and do all my favorite things. And Max outdid himself on my birthday last year. He planned the entire day. It was a surprise and it was everything I would love to do. So I just can't wait for this trip and to see what he has planned out for us. And I haven't seen him in 2.5 months, so I think that just makes it even better because I miss him so very much. Yeah, I guess my like this week is just like preparing to go to Florida and making it like a reality. And I would say my dislike is, I guess, the same thing as my like, but I've been really trying to get everything done before I go. So basically doing like 2 weeks in advance of homework and all my other assignments and packing and all that sort of stuff. So I guess that's my dislike because I felt like I was on my laptop every ounce of the day and also trying to hang out with people before I leave. And then I'm graduating. So there's just a lot I was trying to cram in to like a little bit of time. Some more updates is I went to Big Sur yesterday with my friend Caitlin. So we drove up to Monterey and then we went to Carmel and then we went to Big Sur. It was so fun, but also like kind of a fail because the one was closed, so we had to take a different route. That's why we went on all the way around to Monterey. And when we got to Monterey, we could not find somewhere to eat. So then we're like, okay, let's drive to Carmel. Maybe there's more down there. And I knew that it was a very expensive area, but we just thought there'd be more options of non-expensive foods. We did not find food that we could afford. And we ended up going to Whole Foods. And this Whole Foods was pretty small as well. So we just got like miscellaneous items and ate that for lunch and dinner. And also it was kind of a fail because we went to Big Sur anticipating going to this one cafe. And we realized that it was closing before we even got there because we left late. So ultimately we didn't plan. It was more of a spontaneous trip. So we didn't plan too well when it came to what we were going to do in the food. But it was very much a road trip vibes. We got Miso in the car. He did great. And there were so many pretty views. Honestly, Central California is gorgeous. I guess that's considered NorCal probably, but so pretty. Big Sur is just a place that everyone goes to around here, like for a day trip. So I wanted to do it. I'm trying to like do all the things that are around here before I leave so I don't have to make this huge trip just to go to Big Sur. So it's much closer obviously to do it while I'm in slow. Other than that, that's pretty much all that's recently happened. I have in my next episode right coming after this, I probably won't have any updates. I think I fractured both of my feet, like stress fractures from playing too much pickleball. That's awesome. And I have to get a bone scan next time I go home. I'm also getting a facial. I'm getting waxed. Miso's getting a haircut. I also have a dentist appointment. So I have a lot of appointments before I go to Florida, which I'm stoked about. Oh my gosh, I have so many updates. And then also I'm leaving early. So I'm leaving tomorrow morning after my first class, or tomorrow afternoon, because I'm viewing apartments with my sister when I get home on Monday night. And then Tuesday's all my appointments. And then I'm hopefully going to work for her and view more places. And then I'm taking a Pilates class Wednesday morning and dropping off Miso at Max's parents and picking up Max some stuff for Max. And then I'm heading out Wednesday afternoon. Life is going by so fast, kind of crazy. I have to like pack up my whole house soon and move, which I'm not ready for. Seems like a lot of work. But thankfully, my parents are coming for graduation, so they're going to pack up with me. Let's get into today's episode. Let's start off with pre-travel preparations. Before a trip, I always make sure to do my laundry so that I have clean and fresh clothes to pack. Honestly, I don't know people who really bring dirty clothes unless maybe you know there's laundry there. I was going to bring dirty clothes down to my parents' house and have my mom do my laundry, but I wanted my suitcase fully packed. So I strategically planned to do laundry today to bring the correct outfits I wanted. So I guess just make sure your laundry's clean, and then you just have more options of the outfits you're going to wear and mix and match throughout your entire trip. Personally, I really like to lay out all my clothes before I start packing, or just I throw out all the possible options onto my bed and make sure your bed's clean so it's easier to pack. And I coordinate the outfits. I make sure usually it's versatile in what I'm packing. So usually most of my clothes can go with each other because it's pretty, I would say, basic and neutral colors. And it helps me visually see that I have everything, make sure that I don't overpack. I also like to do this because today I had one dress, one pair of comfy shorts, one pair of regular shorts, one pair of denim. I'm only going for a week. I don't really know the weather because it's supposed to rain, but it's humid. So I kind of had to bring a little bit of everything. If I didn't lay out things, then I usually get to my destination and I'm trying to figure out an outfit. I don't have the shirt or the bra that goes with that shirt or the shorts that match that shirt. So it's very important that I already lay out the outfit beforehand, and that shorts or that top can go at multiple different outfits than just a single one. Also, not one to have very bright or a statement type of outfit. It is my 21st birthday and I probably should for this, but I just brought a super lightweight dress that I know looks good on me because it's humid. So I want something lightweight. I want something that doesn't wrinkle. And also, I didn't really want to buy anything. I still don't know what I'm going to wear for my bar crawl, but oh well, I'll figure that out later. I also take time to select the outfits that are not only comfortable but suitable for where I'm going and the activities that we have planned. And that's why it's so important for you to figure out what you're going to wear, but also figure out what you're going to do there so you know what to wear. And I'm very much a comfort over look type of person. So I only brought the jeans and the shorts that I'm comfy in. And my airplane outfit's always comfy. I'm never going to wear jeans on a plane. I know some people like to look nice on a plane, but it's a no for me. I have to be comfortable. I have to be warm. I hate being cold on a plane. It's so miserable. So I brought sandals, sneakers, and workout shoes. Usually I would bring either sneakers or sandals. I guess I usually wouldn't bring 3 pairs of shoes. I usually bring 2, but because it's my birthday and I know I brought a dress and a skirt, or I guess I wouldn't wear jeans and sandals. I guess that'd look weird. I don't really know, but I had to bring 3 of them for this trip for some reason. When it comes to packing, I have learned that it's important for efficiency. So I use packing cubes or compression bags to maximize my space and keep my items organized. Over the years, I've embraced the concept of packing light, because it not only saves me excessive bag fees, and I am the one who only brings a carry-on even to a 2-week trip, so I am not about to pay to check my bag in or bring a huge luggage, but also makes traveling more convenient. It's much easier to go about what you're going to wear each day, and also compression bags are not nearly as cute, but it saves so much space. So when I went to France this summer, I used compression bags because I was going for 2 weeks and I was staying in hotels, so I didn't have any laundry. And I packed 2 weeks of clothes in a carry-on, yeah. And my bag was so heavy and I had absolutely no room to bring things back. I had every outfit packed to the brim. Basically, compression bags made me be able to bring twice as much stuff in a little bag. So I highly recommend compression bags. Before going on a trip, I always make an effort to clean and organize my home. Coming back to a clean and clutter-free home after traveling reduces my overall post-travel stress and makes the transition way easier. I always say that coming back from some type of vacation or traveling, I always need another one from work or school. But if I make sure to clean my house, I know that at least that stressor is gone. And it is more difficult with roommates because I don't know if when I come home my place will be clean. I don't necessarily have that problem with my current roommates, but I definitely have before. I always make sure to clean before I leave just so my other roommates are like, okay, she did her portion of whatever I had to do before I left and didn't just leave the house a mess. And I always prioritize tasks like emptying the fridge, taking out the trash, tidying up common areas, and making a welcoming environment upon my own return. So basically, when it comes to like groceries, I don't usually grocery the week I'm leaving because I want to avoid wasting food. I make it a point to really consume everything that's before I leave. And I think it's a practical way to minimize waste and ensure that nothing goes bad while I'm away. Currently in my fridge, all I have left is smoothie packs, like pre-made smoothie packs, coconut water, almond milk. All those aren't opened yet, so they can just stay in the fridge. I think I have oranges and carrots that I'm going to give to my parents. And that's about it. I have frozen food to make for dinner, but I don't just want food sitting in my fridge that's going to go to waste. I get creative with meals or snacks while using the remaining ingredients. It's kind of like a challenge, but it also makes me not like waste food and helps me save money. So my roommate today went to Trader Joe's and was like, oh, do you need anything? And I was like, no, I'm leaving tomorrow, so I don't need groceries. Like, I will survive. If anything, I can go out to eat. Yeah, I try to use like everything in my pantry too, or like my freezer. So today I was hungry before I recorded, so I made a smoothie because I know when I move out, I can take my stuff that's in my pantry, but I most likely have to eat a majority of my frozen food. I don't have necessarily a lot, but I bought a lot of smoothie stuff the last time I went. So I need to make sure I make my smoothies, and I had pasta sauce in there and just a bunch of random things. Before leaving for my trip, I always make sure to make my bed, and that goes along with the laundry because I want to make sure I come back to clean sheets. There's something comforting about returning to a well-made bed that's clean and ready to sleep in after such a long trip. I'm also coming back the day I'm doing my bar crawl, so I'm gonna come home probably at like 2 a.m. blacked out drunk, so I know that I want my bed to be nice and clean and ready for me. So as a part of my pre-travel routine, I always make sure to tidy up my whole bedroom and organize my bedside tables and clearing my floors or any type of laundry I left around, and making sure that anything that's accumulated that I don't want in my room, I make sure to put it away where it actually goes. Shopping for travel essentials. Why can't I say essentials? Essential before I travel. This is one of my favorite things to do, is to kind of like go through everything I have. I have a lot of travel stuff for some reason. I love to go through all my travel stuff, kind of see what I'm missing and what I need to revamp, because my last trip was Costa Rica and I pretty much used like all my sunscreen and I think like my face wash. Oh, I need toner. That's what I need. It's just kind of fun to go to Target and look at all the little mini things I need. A visit to Target is a must when preparing for a trip. It's my must. It's a one-stop shop for everything for a wide variety of travel essentials conveniently. I focus on purchasing all travel-sized toiletries or adapters, portable chargers, accessories, neck pillows, whatever it is that I don't have and I need. And the reason why I make sure it's a mini size is because it's just like more convenient for me. I know I could put it in like a small travel size container, but I travel so often, I just like have a bunch of mini stuff, and it's easier for me to bring that versus any of my big stuff and just take up space. Now for snacks. I believe in the importance of having snacks on hand during my travels. Not only do they satisfy my hunger, but they also prevent me from relying on unhealthy options available at the airport or during like different transitions. Usually like the night before, I go with my dad to like the grocery store and we pick out a bunch of just food options, and you pack them we put them in the fridge, we pre-pack them in like a giant Ziploc and put it in my bag that I bring with me. But a hack for you is you can bring liquids on a plane if they're frozen. So if you freeze it overnight and let it defrost, you can bring those foods with you because they go through security as a solid. You can do this with water, you can do this with maybe yogurt or applesauce, whatever you love that's liquid, you can still bring. Some of my favorite travel snacks, Meslick, I can't even pronounce the brand. It's like rice. It's kind of like Rice Krispies, like that's the texture, but it has, I think, like 9 grams of protein, and they're actually really yummy. So protein bars, trail mix, I like nuts for a healthy fat. Fresh fruit or pre-cut veggies are super easy to carry on. Like I love going to, also I went on a flight to, when I came back from Costa Rica, we were I think in Panama. I don't know where my layover was, but they had me dump out all my water, and then they didn't provide water on the plane, and it was a 5-hour flight. I was so dehydrated. Also, they had like no food or snacks at this airport, which actually was wild to me, and then they didn't provide snacks on the plane. So this is why it's important to bring food with you. Let's go into skincare, because I have a hot take on skincare when it comes to airplanes. Taking care of my skin during the flight is super important to me. However, I've learned that excessive skincare on the plane can actually do more harm than good. I always wondered why I felt so dry or broke out from flying. The dry air can cause products to absorb quickly, which potentially can irritate your skin. So what I've learned is the airplane sucks out any moisture that's in the air. So if you go into the plane and you take off all your makeup and you redo your whole makeup like mid-flight, you're actually doing more harm in like to your skin than if you just did your skincare before the flight, or maybe did it like right before you landed or just after you landed. Like I know it's like a trend to do your skincare while you're on the plane, and I definitely I think brought like a face mask when I flew to France, but then I learned that after and was like, okay, that makes so much sense why I feel so dry. And if you reapply more lotion or anything to your face, it's going to actually do the reverse effect than it usually does. So to maintain hydration and comfort during the flight, I always like recommend doing a lightweight moisturizer and a lip balm with SPF for sure before you fly, or before you like leave, like before the flight. Do like minimal skincare once you get to your destination with maybe like a refresh. Basically what you would do like on the flight, just do when you get off, because you might be doing more harm and wondering why your skin is so dry when you just reapplied your whole skincare routine. So this may be like common knowledge, but getting comfortable and quality sleep on a plane is so important to me, and I have such a hard time falling asleep. So I usually bring a travel pillow, which I used to think were so stupid growing up, but then I finally used one to France and actually realized they're pretty nice. I kind of want to invest in a nicer quality one. It's also a plus when the airplane like gives you a blanket or something. I used to always bring like my blankie when I was a kid, or like my own pillow. And really getting quality sleep on a plane is so nice. So I usually take magnesium. I think that's why some people drink on a plane or something to make them fall asleep. To make the flight enjoyable, I always have books, podcasts, or any type of movie ready and downloaded, because a super interesting novel or podcast or whatever you're into, music, can help you pass the time and it keeps me entertained, because usually I end up just like scrolling through all my phone photos and like decluttering my phone, which yes is good. It's just the worst when I forget to download something on my phone before the flight. I've never been the one to like pay for Wi-Fi, but I feel like it never works even if I do. So I'd rather just prepare for the flight. Also, it's kind of just like it's like a break from life. Like no one can really reach you. You can't reach anyone. This is your time to read, listen to music, any way you like to distress. What a better time to do it. Also, hot take is I prefer aisle seats when I'm on a plane, just the advantages are so much better than the window seat. It's easier to access the restroom, which I'm not one to use public restrooms, so I guess that doesn't apply to me. There's more legroom, and there's more, I love to stretch my legs, in the aisle, which is probably annoying to some people, but I am so uncomfortable on planes, especially if I get the aisle seat and then I have, my mom book the window seat. Usually nobody sits in between us because, nobody wants to buy the middle seat. And then I just find it more, spacious because I feel I feel so claustrophobic by the window. And then also, I don't want the sun in my face anyways. I guess it's a personal preference. And when I travel with Max, I know I'm gonna have to be in the middle seats. That'll be kind of annoying, but I'll enjoy my aisle seat while I can. It's also just easier to get out of the plane. So that can be going for walks, hikes, or taking a cool fitness class in whatever location I'm in. I find a way to move my body no matter what. It could be a sunset walk, but I don't want to just lay there and do nothing all day. When I was in France, I was walking 10 plus, maybe 15 miles a day. That is movement. I don't have to be doing a workout class, but I'm doing something for myself. I embrace the opportunity to try new activities and experiences that incorporate physical activity. That includes workout classes, yoga, or exploring the surroundings on foot, like walking. For me personally, I don't have a super hard time maintaining my habits on vacation because I like to simplify them, like moving my body every day or making my bed or eating pretty healthy. None of those things are difficult to me. If you're not super consistent with them or you're thrown off routine, I can understand why it's a lot harder to want to have that motivation to keep doing it. So hopefully these little tips can help you. Rest and relaxation are extremely essential components of my travel experience. I understand the importance of avoiding burnout and taking time for my self-care. I think there's a difference between vacation and travel. So travel to me is you're kind of going on a budget, it's not super leisurely, you're not spending all this money to maybe stay at the nicest hotel or eat the nicest food. You're going there to experience the culture and the people and do all the activities, but you're not just going there for a week and laying out by the beach every day and staying at the nicest hotel. I feel like travel is more experience, and then vacation's more about relaxation. But obviously I'm trying to intertwine the two. So I make sure to schedule breaks, get enough sleep, practice relaxation, maybe do a walking meditation to really enjoy my journey while I'm there. While I was reading it, I was able to actually practice what I was learning while I was on my trip. And I think that really helped me just stay present in the moment and actually enjoy everything that I was doing. Another habit that I'm pretty good at maintaining is keeping a balanced diet while traveling, basically to support my well-being and my energy levels. So usually I would get pretty anxious around money and not want to spend money on food because I want to save money. But then I have to remember that I budgeted for this trip beforehand. So I have the money to actually go out and get food, and a part of me just always wants to save, but then I have to realize that I purposely saved before this trip so I can eat X amount of dollars a day on food. I try to not restrict myself in that way, and so I can pick the food that I want to eat and that's more nutritious for my body instead of leaning towards fast food maybe. I seek out healthier food options wherever I go. Usually I don't try exploring possibly local markets or grocery stores for the fresh produce or choosing grilled or steamed dishes. And I like to be mindful about how much I'm eating and not just yes, I'm a part of traveling and experiencing the world is food. And that's one of my favorite ways to experience places. But for example, on this trip with Max, if we're going out to breakfast, I'm going to make sure to pick a meal that has a starch, a fat, and a protein. I'll get avocado toast with an egg on top, and that's my favorite breakfast anyways. So it's not I'm picking something I don't want to eat. I still pick things I want to eat, but maybe ordering an extra side of something so it completes my meal, or Max and I each get something and then we split it. A lot of people have a hard time finding healthy food on vacation, especially if they're traveling with other people. But usually I'm not traveling with a ton of people, or Max and I usually have like the same taste in food. We don't have a hard time picking like healthier options. But I guess if you're with other people who are picking the options, like that could be more difficult. So I'd say if eating healthy is not a habit that you can maintain, that's totally okay, because there are so many other habits in your life that you can maintain. And I wouldn't get down on yourself for not being able to eat healthy as much as you do. I don't even like saying the word like eating healthy, but I guess if you feel kind of bleh in your body, like you kind of low energy because you're not feeling yourself the way you usually do, I would just remind yourself you're on vacation and try to enjoy the moments that you have and not focus too much on the food you're consuming. The very last thing I want to talk about is I budget my trip. So to embrace the full advantage of traveling, I try to budget. So first, like, I budget the trip of how much I think it's going to cost, and then I save for it. And this is so I can experience as much as I can on a lower budget, whether that's finding unique local experiences or challenging myself to be more resourceful. So when I was in Hawaii, I would tell myself I can eat out once a day, and then I would buy groceries for the rest of the day, or go to like the ABC store and pick up some food because the food was pretty good. And I guess just realizing that if you get out of the tourist areas, the food is more affordable as well. And I researched a lot to find the affordable accommodations, whether it's finding a deal on a flight or transportation. So instead of maybe spending a ton of money on Ubers, I'll take the bus. Really try to explore the free or low cost activities and spending more of my money on those attractions or activities that I find that are must-dos. I make sure I spend more money on that versus something I don't necessarily need to splurge on. And I think this makes my trips become a reality because I'm not going on a trip that's going to be maybe $3,000, but really only had $2,000, and then I'm stressing on the trip because it's more expensive than I thought it was going to be. If you're planning to go on a trip, I would research how much it costs per day for like food, transportation, how much the flight is, and budget how many days you're there, how much you want to spend on activities as well. Maybe you're splitting it with people. Usually like go about my days like paying attention to how much I'm spending, and then I'll like halfway through the trip like count it all up, because sometimes I underspent and then I have more money to spend on the rest of the days. And usually this is like, I travel alone, so it's a little bit easier for me to do. But even like this next trip with Max, I used my points to pay for half of my flight, and then he gets a discount on the hotel. And we realized we were going to rent a car, but then we realized Ubers are cheaper than renting a car. And then we know we're going to go out to one really nice dinner for my birthday, and then we'll have to eat out most breakfasts, and then he gets his lunch and dinners paid for. So I'll be on my own for lunch and dinner, but we'll probably go to his apartment and make some food for myself. And I guess we do have some activities that we want to do. We already kind of have, like, I have my per day budget planned out. He doesn't because he lives there, but for me, I do. And I guess it's just being mindful of how much you're spending, what you're spending money on, and if you actually have the money for it. Because I think if you don't budget before you travel, you can have a little bit more stress and anxiety there, because you're like, oh my gosh, like, I'm spending so much money. Like, do I even have this money? So if you know beforehand how much you can spend, it relieves that anxiety. That is it for today's episode on ways you can prepare for your travels and make sure it's a super smooth sailing trip. And I hope my ideas and my way of traveling maybe gave you some way to organize your trip a little bit better. And this was more on efficiency and stuff, but I will definitely do an episode on solo traveling and my experience and how to make sure you're safe and you don't get lonely and stuff like that. But this, I guess, was what I did before my trip to Florida. And this year, I'm going to be going to Florida twice so far, and I went to Costa Rica. And then I'm going to go to Florida one more time in Japan, and I might also go to Canada. So this year is a year of traveling for me. I hope you liked today's episode. Make sure to follow me on My Perspective Pod on Instagram. review and share this episode with your friends so more people can find it. And then also my TikTok is Shelby. I hope you guys all have a great week, and I'm so excited for next week's episode. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.